Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth connected.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Howdy out there, everyone. How's it going? This is Rick Koppel with another episode of Not a Linux Guru Guy, Brews and Linux with Not a Linux Guru Guy, basically. Today we're going to look at OpenSUSE. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, shouldn't it? Yeah, it's one of those immutable desktops. Which immutable mean basically that the system guts can't be changed by you directly. Now they do updates and stuff like that with change the system guts. But they don't do anything like you can't go in and edit certain files in there anymore. Yeah, which I'm not sure I like them or not, because I have some I want to put into there, but the only way I know to do it is to modify system configuration file, which won't let me do. So, at any rate, we were glad to have everybody looking at it for our solo today, I guess, so far. Nobody's joined us yet. We'll see. I'm thinking, yeah, if I don't get any more people to join me on the live stream, I may just go back to doing edited video uploads. So, yeah, next week I'm going to do StormD, I think. It's a Debian version of the Arch Space System Storm OS. So we'll check that out next week. But anyway, this week we're going to do Micro OS, OpenSUSE Micro OS. And we'll find out what that's like open in a minute. So before we get into that though, let's go into coffee. Yeah, I got Indian Monsoon Malabar coffee today, which is basically it's, yeah, I don't know if you remember last time I had mentioned this type of coffee, but basically they put it out in the monsoon rains. When the monsoon rains hit, they store the coffee out in this shacks or something like that with slots. In other words, it's not totally sealed off. So the wind and the rain can get in there and affect the coffee beans. Gives a particular curious flavor, basically. This one isn't too strange. Some of them are stranger than others, I guess, but it's pretty good coffee. I like it. So Anyway, we got that. Got the coffee of the day out of the way. And we're going to take out the, we're going to look at Open Macro S, OpenSUSE today. And we're in explosive updates, I've stated, because it's basically out of what they call atomic updates, which makes it sound like an atom bomb's going off. So that's where it's explosive from. But it doesn't really explode or anything like that. No, you're not gonna see things blow up here, so too bad. So anyway, we will get into it right away, I guess, since we don't have anything else to do. Nobody else showed up yet. So we get started and we get the installation cooking and all that good stuff. So let's get this underway here. Let's see, we're gonna go to here to OpenSUSE website, MacroOS website. Basically, it has its own little subdomain here, macroosopenSUSE.org, and yeah, so it's got some blog things down there, switching from Wicked to Network Manager. It's a little bit distracting to me in a way because I guess I want to indicate there all the blog information they have on there. So here you get documentation, system requirements, downloads, and report a bug. If you find any bugs in here, you know where to report them. We'll go here to this and just report a bug. Yeah, this bug's already been reported. I'm not sure what they'll do about it, but anyway. Designed to host container workloads with automated administration and patching. Installing OpenSUSE MacroOS, you get a quick, small environment for deploying containers or any other workload that benefits from transactional updates. As rolling release distribution, this software is always up to date. It's based on Tumbleweed. Yep, uses Tumbleweed. So let's go see what they got here. System requirements. I'll check that out first. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you I originally was going to install this on my old HP, which I got basically from some old HP that I had. For the longest time, I've had it set over there for them to use, for my wife and son to use. I finally got it back. So, only bad thing about this, first installing things on this using this video card driver, is it doesn't output HTML until a certain point in the installation process, so you can't see the beginning of it. So, well, it's gonna use that. So I'm going back to my Dell desktop over here that I got and installing it on that. So system requirements. Memory, you need a minimum 1 gigabyte physical RAM. 1 gigabyte. I think most people can handle that. I have one machine on here that can't handle that. That's my mom's old Dell computer out there that I inherited when she passed away in 2016, and it has less than 1 gig physical RAM on it. I think it's got like I don't remember how much RAM it has, but I think it has at least 512 megabytes RAM on it. It's got half a gig basically. I'm using that on my server to serve up pictures and music. It works. So anyway, we have memory, 1 gigabyte physical RAM, and additional memory needed for your workload. So if you have more than that, most people have a minimum of two gigabytes of RAM, so it should work on most systems. And most people have 4 to 8 or 16 or 32 gigabytes or whatever even. Some of the more. This particular machine that I'm on right now, that I'm broadcasting over, has 16 gigabytes RAM on it, so 20 gigabytes maximum, 5 gigabytes available for disk space. Root partition, 5 gigabytes available disk space minimum. 20 gigabytes maximum. So it's going to use up to 20 gigabytes maximum, depending on what you probably install, that kind of stuff. File partition, 5 gigabytes available to space minimum. So 5 editions of 25, 40 gigabytes or more recommended. So yeah, so if you want to get take full advantage of all the stuff you have on the system, you need at least 60 gigabyte hard drive probably, or SSD. Increase based on the needs of your container workload. So yeah, any additional space you'll need for your home directory, that kind of thing. Which I think I'm safe on that because I think this has 128 gigabyte disk on it, if I remember correctly. Check as we go on. So that's the requirements, system requirements. Now we go to downloads and see what we got there. Alright, there's ISO images. Now you do have a Raspberry Pi, which I could have tested out on my Pi over here. You have Raspberry Pi images you can use. Now you have platform, base system plus container runtime environment, which probably is what one you want this list here. So I chose this one, 8664. I think is what I chose. Let's do R64 or PPC64LE, depending on your needs. So also has a version Pine 64. Pine phone, I guess. Not sure. And then you have your virtual machine versions right there. VirtualBox right there. VMware. So like if you're gonna go on GNOME boxes, you want a virtual machine for GNOME boxes, you probably choose one of these. A VirtualBox, VMware, that's in there. You got a Vagrant, and you also have Microsoft Hyper-V, which I think is more recent Microsoft version of a virtual machine that you install on Microsoft. So there's one you want if you have a Microsoft account and you want to install a virtual machine within it. So there you go. So if you are keen, it says try our experimental images based on OpenSUSE Leap. So anyway, this one I downloaded right here, ISO image. It's basic standard desktop image. We're gonna go with that. Okay. Now this has some differences in how you install it. So we'll get started with that and we'll show you those things. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go over to the virtual. Now on our virtual machine, Ventoy is all set up. We got it highlighted what OpenSUSE we're going to do. And we'll kick off with that. Okay. Now you can boot from hard disk, or you can do an installation. Boot from hard disk, of course, boot whatever OS you happen to have on it, which right now I have Micro OS on this, but I don't want to do that. I want to show you install. Do installation. Kicking into it. And we are. Yeah, it's running. Do installation next, install the drivers. And it's loading basic drivers, it says. Oh. This beginning part takes a little while to go through, not too long, just a little bit. And it'll kick in and eventually get us to the point where we're ready to install the system. Yeah, it's, I don't know what, I'm not sure what OpenSUSE calls their installer. It's different from every other installer out there pretty much, so it's OpenSUSE's own installer, I'm sure, but I'm not sure what it's called exactly. It's detecting hardware still. Now, it should work because I don't think I have anything weird on this system. Too weird, and installed last time, so. But I installed last time one other time too, so. Who knows? Okay, now we're initializing. It goes to this initializing stage. 3 network configuration, which is nothing right now because I haven't set up for network. That gives you the opportunity to do that pretty soon though. Now here you have their license agreement, which basically says we're going to install a bunch of stuff on here. Some of it that is not open source, I think. And anyway, it's a license. So if you don't like the license, you can always read it and use it that way. If you like the license, you go next. And hit enter and go next. Okay, now here's our word, yeah. Not configured, it says. So here's where you allows you set up down here. You set up your wireless network if you want to. So you want to edit this one that's on this wireless network adapter, which is what I'm going to edit here. And network key name, network name, but you can go here and choose network if you don't know for sure what your name of your network is. I know what it is. I want to choose this for you and see what it does. Scanning for wireless networks. And there it is. That's couple fam. Okay. Now I want to know what the password is, which I have in there. So I'll plug that in right now. Okay. Now it's showing IP address instead of being not configured there, like the Ethernet one isn't configured. So it's all cooking. So we go next. And it's activating network services. Network services set up, update configuration. System probing. Installing installation. Initializing installation. Here's where you have your choice of what you want to do. You install micro OS, single purpose systems optimized for large deployments. Probably is what you want to do. You install micro OS container host, which is optimized for hosting container workloads. Probably what you want to do. Or no, that's not the one you want to do probably because you want a desktop, right? Desktop environment. So macOS desktop GNOME. You also choose KD Plasma. It's an alpha stage. And macOS with remote attestation. I'm not sure what that is. macOS with another remote attestation. I think it's Keyline TPM 2.0 required hardware. So I don't think I have Keyline, but I'm going to worry about those. I'm going to choose. See, I installed GNOME last time. I think maybe I'll install KD and check that out this time. Alright. Pod main container runtime by default. We'll look at that in a minute. I'm really not good at that, but I know some basics at least. Internal error. Please report a bug. Logs. Bye-bye. Tell you report a bug automatically. Guess we have to go up here to GNOME, huh? After the next, no matter what. Okay. Mm. 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 And again. Fun in doing live stuff. Basically got into a situation there where I tried KD, which is an alpha, so it's not even beta, I guess, so it's an alpha. And it didn't work, so I'll go with GNOME, which is what I went with last time. I know that will work, so. So yeah, they're all this again. Apologize for that. Nobody appears to be up with me yet, so they don't have to do this. They can skip this part if they want to. Yeah, these are parts I cut out usually on the upload video, so whereas doing all this stuff over again, I just get over there and do it, take care of it. So you wouldn't have to go through all the switches. I mean, just go back to doing upload videos again since nobody's coming to view the live stream anymore. Basically, because of time changes mainly, I think. Found a good time nobody's able to come. Well, one person came at the 10 o'clock stage, so it just doesn't work out. So not being able to do that, I'll go back to it and install videos again. Install yeah. Upload videos, what I meant to say. Upload videos. Well, they're quicker, I guess. I have to go through 2 hours of watch me struggle to install things like that. Okay. And this time instead of using the thing, I'll type it in. And spell my last name correctly, that'd help. Yep. Edit. Okay. On to the network then. Any minute of trouble. Okay, now the password for my, oops. Okay, it seemed to be good. Everything looks good there. DHCP, yep. We'll move on. Okay, now we're finally back to where we were before. So we'll choose GNOME this time, and I know how it works. And that, no. Okay, well, let's choose the little set the default listing there. That basically is for your network time. Password for root user. And test your keyboard layout. There if you want to. Now this is your, we're going to import your public SSH key, which is necessary. So yeah, it's this only disk on here, I think. SDA1, so that's what we're going to install to. So we'll do that. Analyzing my system. Software to install. Time zone, network configuration. Yeah. Bootloader. I can change anything by clicking on this. Like, this isn't the right time zone, not UTC time zone. I think another chance to change it later on too, so just leave it there for now, but you can like click this. Go to time zone. Round dimmer, USA. Accept. And now it says mountain dimmer. Of course, later on you have to set this again when you get into the when you get in post installation section, but now you hit install if everything looks good, which I think it does for me. Partitioning, what's going to do your disk up here in the first thing. You also go back to select different partitioning if you want to, but one of the things with this, you don't want to do anything weird. Yeah, it's one of the things I'm going to tell you about is that install. That's one of the things that I was going to tell you about in this system. When you install it, you want to make sure you can't dual boot with anything, so you have to have that. It's going to suck the whole disk off first, so you know there's no dual boot options up there. And that's by design. A lot of this applies to Fedora SilverBlue too, but also you can't, what was I going to say? Hold on a minute, I don't want to know what it is. Yeah, you can't, what was I going to say? Well, mine's going in it. Seems like sometimes short-term memory is losing it. Get distracted too easy. So anyway, I got yeah, you can do something else on here. Oh yeah, right. I remember now. You can't use your almost slided again. Yeah, well, you are not able to. Oh man, I'm losing it again already. Had it and I'm losing it. Okay, so I'm gonna take the whole thing on this formula station. What I'm gonna do here? Somebody here to help me. So I know what I'm doing with this, but I don't remember now. Yeah, it's installation, so since we're gonna sit here and think about it, 'cause I know what it is. I had it on the tip of my head for a moment there. Basically, aside from not being able to do certain things, oh yeah, partitioning, that's what I was thinking about originally, partitioning. Yeah, you don't want to use, unless you really know what you're doing, really know, and I don't know what I'm doing with this. I can partition with the best of them, but I don't know all the specifics about how to set up this immutable file system. So I let it choose automatic load. That's what you want to do. Because if you try to go in to manually partition yourself, which I think it gives you the option to do that somewhere in there, not going to be a happy situation, I don't think. So, yeah. You want to just do the automatic partitioning on this, except whatever it says it's going to do, and do that because it knows what it's doing. You don't most of the time in that case. That scenario. Different from regular partitioning, so you have to do it the right way. Otherwise, you'll screw up your system installation and won't install. So yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. Now this is a containerized system. What it means is everything's running in a container. Your program, everything. So it uses Flatpaks a lot since they're kind of containerized versions of semi-containerized, whatever you want to call it. And there's also uses Podman, which is a system that it's a command line thing that you use to create containers, that kind of thing. But it also has Toolbox in it, which is an interesting. It kind of is a wrap around Podman, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and it he goes around to function in it's kind of a excuse me, pardon me for that. Looks like our installation's almost done though. Anyway, yeah, so you got that. I don't remember what I was talking about there, but anyway. Saving. Well, I thought it was almost done. Slow back down again. It looked like it was going to zoom to the end, but it didn't. It's saving installation settings. Now, yeah, I think it's basically what I was talking about was containerized toolbox. Yeah, toolbox, which is a wraparound Podman, I believe. And it also, you can create containerized versions more automatically with that. And we are here. System will root now. Okay. Which you have to have F12 in order to access the deal, so I don't think we're gonna have that problem here. Okay, OpenSUSE Micro OS, advanced options for OpenSUSE. See what those are. Here, if you want to go and set firmware settings, you can do that. You can start bootloader from read-only snapshot. So let's see what advanced options are. Basically, just chooses where you start your where you can start in default or your recovery mode. Also, probably gives you options when you get more kernels in there. You see it's 5.19.8-1 default kernel. And so start with that. And we are going into OpenSUSE. I think I had some introductory stuff here at the beginning of it, so we'll check on that as soon as it starts up. I think it's the first time it takes a while for it to cook. I'm not sure exactly why. Probably some stuff is doing. Oh yeah, it's processing and starting the user. You guys said it'll start your own user and that kind of thing. So yeah. And there you are. There's the familiar. It's the only desktop background they have on here, so familiar OpenSUSE background. So here you go. You start your GNOME thing. Yeah, I'm English, United States. Yep. So next. Now typing. English is checked off. US. That's correct. So I'll say next. Okay, a lot of it. I'm gonna click no on that. Like more privacy. Time zone. Now this is what that's what we were talking about before. Still gonna have to reset it here, so probably doesn't bother to worry about resetting it at the installation level, but yeah, it doesn't automatically carry through for some reason. Not sure why. So anyway, Denver. I'll skip this because I don't really need to establish any of that here. Now about you, we need a few details to complete sub. Full name. Interesting. And most of them just do the. I'll put a C on the end of it, but I haven't spelled out the whole thing right. So we got that. Set my password for my user. This is a weak password. Try to add more letters, numbers, and punctuation, but I like that one because that's one I tend to use for most of my stuff. So password. All done. Typing OpenSUSE macOS. Hey. Now installing Firefox, FlatHub, macOS first boot. So you only have to go through this one time apparently. Installing some things in here that you need to operate with. For some reason, whenever it opens up, boots in the system, it always opens up with it set up like this. So you have to hit Windows key again if you want to get the full screen and start running programs, using programs, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting in that regard. Now, one of the things I really like about this, it's got automatic updates, I believe, and you can set it that way. I'm not sure if it's set automatic default out of the box for automatic updates or not. We'll check that in un momento, por favor. So we're waiting for it to finish installing Firefox. Apparently it takes eons to install Firefox. Probably installing Flatpak version. Most of what you use here is Flatpaks or Snaps. I think Flatpaks predominantly. That's what tend to be used. I don't know if they even got snaps installed on this or not, but they do flat packs, that's for sure. So yeah, you got flat packs. It's finally installing calculator. We need a calculator, don't we? Not really, but yeah. Helps to have a calculator sometimes on your system. Used to put a shortcut for calculators on most of my desktops. The Shift Control G for G. Not sure why I chose G, but it was maybe because my first time I installed it. First time I installed it on here. I don't know if I installed it. Yeah, I don't remember what Windows had on it, but had some kind of calculator. Yeah, most of my shortcut keys either date from back to Windows days where I had sub keys for that. Like I'll have a sub key for Control, Alt, Shift, and W for writer. And I think I had Control Shift A for my accounting program. Makes sense, A for accounting. And I think, yeah, we had Control Shift D, which is the relic for my Excel days back in Windows, but I still occasionally use Excel because I have to, because I have some spreadsheets or macroed into it. At any rate, I think I used Control E, Shift Control E for Excel, so I use it for Calc. Shift Control C, yeah, that's set for that. You can't use it in your terminal applications. Sometimes you need it for that. But it's done. There's Firefox in the dock or whatever you want to call that thing down there. So yeah, so things run pretty well out of this now. There's minimal installation on this thing, obviously. Yeah, so it's calculator, settings, system monitor, terminal, some utilities, you got help, extension manager, text editor. And utilities, you have disk tweaks and usage. Now, one of the things I'm not sure why they don't have it in here is said, oh, they do right there, settings. We're going to go to that real quick. We're going to go down here to the bottom. And don't see update on here, do we? Okay, device name, localhost. That's one thing, it'll give you the option to name your computer so it's unique name on the system on your network. So stuck with localhost unless because you can't change anything in the main settings of it, so you're stuck with whatever they give you. So there's Dell Optiplex 3010, which is the our desktop I'm using. 8 gigabytes of memory, well above the requirements. Memory requirements. Intel Core i5 3470. I don't know what generation that is. I think it's before they started showing generations of i5s and stuff like that. Framework has an 11th generation on them. I know they have a 12th generation that just came out with, which I could update the CPU on. It's pretty easy if I wanted to, but it's about an extra $500, $400, something like that. So it's the price of a new computer almost, but it's what it is. So anyway, it's got Mesa. Disk capacity 256. I think it's 128 when I was telling you how many gigabytes I think my disk has double that. 258.1 gigabytes disk capacity. And then you got here macro S. And you've got OpenSUSE macro S, 64-bit. No version 42.2. excuse me, 42.4. I also have Wayland on it. It's operating Wayland mode right now. Software updates. Check that out. Server empty destination. Oh, inventory. Okay, we'll close that out for a moment. I didn't pull my inventory disk off of there. I don't know why that chose to show that. And anyways, let's see what I do now. Yeah, there you go. There is secure boot configuration update. File updated. I think it says automatic update. I don't see it here, but I think maybe it'd be in here somewhere in settings. The update has been installed. A restart for take back. Now we're restarting it. And we're down. And boom. Face rolls. Alright. And log in with my username, Rick Koppel. And I'm now on my system as Reek. Yeah, so already looked at some of the stuff, but it's all of it now. You notice the update went pretty fast, didn't it? That's one of the advantages of this. Is updates pretty quick on it. And so, because it doesn't replace the whole system, and doesn't have to look through a bunch of stuff to replace the whole system. What parts of the system need to be replaced, that kind of thing. So, yeah, so you don't have to worry about that much. Updates pretty quick, fast, and furious. Pretty easy. But I'm sure you can set it's automatic updates, but I'm not sure where to do that at now. I thought it was in settings. There'll be an update section in there, but it wasn't. So we'll go ahead and look at this system. It has now, as I noticed, like I can push Control Alt T and get my, oh, that's just on my own system. Yeah, I have to do it with this keyboard. I'm gonna get this Control Alt T. I remember that terminal doesn't have any kind of shortcut keyboard to it. Keyboard shortcuts or bindings or nothing like that. There's a lot of things don't have bindings. Don't have bindings on a lot of stuff. We'll look at that here. So, okay, one of the things I tend to do, privacy, screen lock. Never lock it. Never automatically screen lock. Okay, so then we also go to Power Manager. Right to there. And we will not turn off dim screen. Screen blank never. Alright, suspend on. Then we don't automatically suspend it. Turn that off. And You go down the keyboard where your shortcut keys are. Shortcut view and customize shortcuts. And your launchers here. Now you notice a lot of not any of these have any kind of launcher browser shortcuts associated with them. So if you want in your browser to have shortcut, you click on it. You tell it what you want. For me, it'd be Super B and set. There you are. Now bring up Firefox, whatever the default web browser associated with system is, by launching that. By hitting Super B, then you don't have to worry about finding it in the menu, that kind of thing. You're going up there and clicking that kind of in the search function. And if you had an email client, which does it right now, I'm not going to install it here. You can put all those same things there. Now this one should have there's an airplane, by the way. Then they came across Super E. That'll turn that'll kick in your now one of the things we go down here that I like doing this for. Yeah, I can't really do the function keys on this keyboard because then I have to have 3 hands to do it all. So I can go down here, close window, it's Alt 4. Well, a few super keys added in here automatically. So we're going to change this to Super Q. Set. That way I'll be able to close windows out real easily in here. Maximize windows. I have a few listed in here for window functionality. Now you notice they didn't have a terminal key there. That's my shortcuts. Add one. Let's go to terminal. What did I put in there? Terminal. It's a random known terminal. And we set shortcut for it. So it's a super return. You can tell I've adopted some shortcut keys from my my foray into window managers. Basically, awesome window manager. That's what I use most of the time. So now you can close this out. Close settings out. And if I want to open up my terminal, I'm done. There it is. Now I like to customize my terminals a little bit with some colors and size and things like that. Go down here, your preferences. Go name profile. Add more profiles. I'm going to leave this the way it is and start a new profile. I'm just going to adopt and change this one. So text, custom font. And you can change the size of your font. I use like a 16. Select that. Then you have your colors. Use colors from system theme. We're not going to do that. And change the background color. And this is a color of cobalt blue that I picked up. 111C34. And we select that. Suddenly it sort of halfway matches this color here. Now we're going to have to make text more readable. This needs to be white. So we're not going to make it fully white. Let's do that to come in. We're going to make it a little grayer. So select on this range. Select. Now suddenly you can see the text there. And probably want to change the bold color to completely white. Completely black. That way bold color will be brighter than this is. So now with that all done, we can close it out. And we can expand it a bit more. Now we can do some fun things here. Like H-top. What? H-top isn't here? What are we gonna do? Oh no! You can't really do a flat pack of H-top, I don't think. Podman to the rescue. Actually, toolbox rescue, I think. This says toolbox. Let's see. Yep, it's got toolbox installed already on it, so that's cool. So we can start toolbox and create. Now the way you do this, if you don't want to end up in rude and strange thing, you want to do toolbox create. And what it does is it installs a toolbox called basically it installs an image of it to, or blob as it says. That sounds more blobbish. Horror movies and stuff. Oh, the blob. So anyway, you got that toolbox. So install toolbox dash rig dash user, if I remember correctly. And it'll probably show you here in a minute. Yeah, there it goes. Spawning container toolbox dash rig dot user. Container created. If you ever need to get rid of it, it'll tell you later on how to do that. So if you install some things on here, now you have to enter it too though first. Toolbox, enter. And you're in the toolbox, you can tell because now it says rec at toolbox dash rec dash user. Now if I'm correct, you can use zipper to install whatever your harsh content in here. This container. So zipper. This is real basic what I learned basically. Some of you probably people who are more experienced with these kind of things can tell you more about what there are, how to use them more. There's also a lot of tutorials on YouTube and other places you can find for that kind of thing. And so we're going to zipper install, I and short for install, and zipper land. So zipper install htop. Oh yeah, you gotta you Suse. Yeah. Oh, that's wrong and eyes. 2P, not 2Is. I can't find it. There need sudo on there though. So sudo zipper install htop. Alright. So it's cooking away, and it's gonna work. Every time you want to get back into this toolbox, you can do it just by entering in. Use the toolbox enter command, enter back into the toolbox, and say, yep, we want to install those packages. Default yes, we'll just push enter. I'll install laptop. This isn't as quick as maybe some other installation methods, but it'll get the job done in a pinch. Hopefully. Oh, we're back to user now. Yeah. It's installed now. We run HTOP. There she is. HTOP. 685 megabytes of memory out of 7.67 gigabytes. That's pretty good for GNOME. That's dark for GNOME. GNOME's usually around 1 gig of data. I think I've been improving it that a lot more in there, so yeah, that's cool. So you got that. There is that. See, we're operating with 4 cores. And so installation time now to get it to work outside of the container is another issue. I haven't really mastered that part of it yet. But I think if I will test this out real quick, I think if you exit out of the container, it'll go bring you back to your basic host system in a minute here. You have to be patient sometimes for these things to take effect. Not as quick as this terminal. There we are. We're back to localhost. And I think if you just put in HTOP right here, command not found. Now, so what you want to do is you want to run tool. Here, unknown state. So you have to start it here. Unknown state. Yeah, see, I need to learn more about Podman. There's a lot of stuff to learn there, and I really wasn't sure. Now to Ruby, you can just run Podman RM toolbox -user. So, yeah, you can do that pretty easily. So if you need to like start over with another container, you want to get rid of it, you just do that, and everything installed in that container will be gone. So right now, all I know how to do is to go in the container and run things, which every container, toolbar, enter, and I'll be back into it. Stopping. Okay, let's try this. As soon as we get back to our host, local host. And your toolbar. Start. Take. 5, 4, 3. Okay, not found apparently. The toolbar. No. Okay. Options. So commands are optional and apply user mode. Let's listen to about. Run. Run command, run set. Okay. It was a T tag. Yeah, it's not real intuitive here, I guess. It's what command you have sense for a while to really figure it out. Figure out how to, yeah, anyway. Just running back a container I created. So, anyway, yeah, it's something more to study. I need to study it more and more to learn how to use it better. So, that's Podman for you. Podman had a long list of commands. Okay, you see its available commands: attach, auto update, build, commit, container, manage containers, copy files, container and local file system, create different events. So there's a lot of different things you do here. Podman to inspect containers. Basically, you have to create a container for anything to run. So it's not something if you want to pull some repositories. It isn't recommended to do that very much or a little bit at all. You see it's not real smooth, easy to do. So here's more commands for Podman. You see it take a while up here. All these out. Start go there and use Podman to start. Try that out and see what happens, huh? You have your options. And finish your options. So, yeah, let's try that just real quick and see what works. Podman. I have typing dyslexia, I say sometimes. Typing dyslexia. Podman, let's see. What, start? I think I specify a container some way. Start. Toolbar. Rig. Let's see in creator steps. Okay. So starting at the creator stop and the Podman appearing unrecognized toolbox container as effective. So you have to do something else. If you want to start a container. Yeah, best thing probably is just learn Podman real well. Where you just know what to do. And yeah, toolbox helpful because it's easier, but it's also harder in other ways. So maybe if I use Podman containers, I would be able just to install things like I had on. So that's Podman container for you. And hi, Steve, how you doing out there? Yeah, I just looked over and saw somebody join me. Yeah, so at least for a while, huh? How's it going out there, Steve? You got a show this week or what? Feel free to post all read off on there for people. Tell you what you're gonna do, that kind of thing, if you had a show or not or what. I didn't have one last Sunday because of all the work you're going through lately. She's been overburdened with a lot of stuff lately, I think. So, you know anything about containers? I'm not that familiar with Podman, so I'm just kind of playing around here with Podman and trying to see what you can do with that kind of thing. Let's see if we can do something with Podman. You have to enter in. Let's see. Pod. Tolerate pod, I guess. Okay. Okay. This part I'm not really sure about. It says please select image document several times. So, and this, it's on select people. Okay, I know it's unknown because I'm trying to create it, you silly goose. Yeah, create root pod. Name unknown. Of course it's unknown. So, yeah, I gotta learn some stuff about Podman on here apparently. To use this much. I don't know if it's worth the effort or what. So I'm probably not gonna install some own system basically, except for this test system on Stale, but that's why I have testing computers, so everything gets installed over it. So, yeah, it's one what else really now. Not much. The only background they have on here out of the box is what I shows on screen here. Close that out. This is pretty much your background. One background you have on here, so I'm not going to bother going in that and showing you that. Not much reason to. I looked at H-top. We already looked at the wireless system. It's unweighted, as you can tell. Now, I can use Toolbox like I showed to run things in Toolbox. I just haven't figured out how exactly how to run them outside of Toolbox yet. So, yeah, you may have to reboot or something in order to run it outside of Toolbox. And let's see what else we're going to do here. I looked at the things. There's not much really on here because it's minimal system. You install what you want afterwards. Flat packs mostly. Well, I install flat packs, so I can show you that. Now you can use, I think, it does have a store on it, I think. Yeah. Software store. Now, when you first click on this, it'll take a little while. It's got a, well, I don't know why it's going back to this. So anyway. So here's your install applications. If you want to look at those, you explore, which we're doing here, any new updates for that. This is GNOME, for sure GNOME Software Center, 2.4. A nice way to manage software on your system. So we're going to look for what? Oh yeah, I like LibreOffice more than Firefox. Going to install another browser on here. Libre. Cool. You can do that, and it'll be a flat pack version. Location found. What am I wrong? Don't tell me that. Bento isn't even attached. I don't know why it's referencing Bento in there. Flat pack should be out of the box. I'm just do this here. Yeah, flat pack's there. There's all the flat pack versions. Firefox installed a flat pack version. And so you know it's activated. Oh, it's they have systems though that they have here, so I don't know if it's activated on FlatHub or not. Anyway, LibreWolf didn't show up in there. So let me go over here real quick. This must be in there. Moving to okay. And yeah. Hold on, man, because I've got flat pack. Shiny to copy it over there, but I can't, so I have to type it in. It is flat pack. Node and E on it, I'm sure. Like E. If not exists, just means if it isn't already enabled, it'll enable it. If it won't, it won't. For sure. Flat hub. Hub.org. Repo. Flat hub. Dot. Other words, obviously, I think it's right, isn't it? Pretty sure it's correct. I'll run that. If not, the there. Oh, I didn't spell it correctly. And then it's on. Okay, now it's enabled, yay. Then you should be able to find, should be able to install Flatpak, install, yay, so FlatHub system, reference, yes, use that system, yes, yes, that's installing LibreWolf. So, watch that molasses running down the tree. And yeah, so failed to get revoke use sock system upper. Okay, looks like this might be problematic too. Hopefully, we're playing it'll be an issue. Maybe still install. So we'll find out, won't we? Now, should be able to use a software center though down to set your black packs as well. I don't know why I didn't initialize it initially. Maybe it had something to do with all these error messages. Having error messages here. See if this works or not. I don't know if it'll work or not. Never seen these messages. Says installation's complete. We'll find out. So close that window. Look at our application list. See if it's in there. Anybody what's in there? Okay. See if it runs. Looks like it runs. Looks like it's help. Valley rule. It's 104.0.2. So yeah, let's see if it actually goes on the website. So I'll do that. And it goes on the website. Yay, there's me. So yeah, so go to the website, LibreWolf Voice. Now if you want to make this default, what you gotta do is, whoops, take it. You gotta go to default application settings. Scroll on. Change from Firefox to LibreWolf. Okay. You can set things in here if you when you install those things, you can set those there too. So now if I press the key binding of SilverBlue, which we set up earlier, should go right to LibreWolf. Yep, sure enough. That's how you do that. Pretty cool, huh? So let's see. We did that. We did that. We did that. We did that. So flat packs. Now let's go back to the software center. Find out if now you can see it. And we keep getting this Ventoy problem. Even though Ventoy isn't installed, I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Empty destination. Okay. Oh. There's LibreOffice. LibreOffice Writer. You want to install a suite of things there? Sweet! Yeah, so it's flat hub flat pack. So yeah, flat hub's enabled now. Show everything in there. So I wanted to go here. Check if LibreWolf's there. There's LibreWolf. It's installed, it says, so I'm good there. So yeah, so that's how you do that. And also think what you get most out is flat packs. So that's good. I think that's well the main thing I need to show you about the system. Yeah, I need to learn Podman better if I was going to use this as a daily driver. I don't think I'm going to use it as a daily driver though. It's not really my use case anyway. I really don't have any need for that. But I do have a need to edit config files on the system and can't really do that in this very easily. Not sure there's a way to do it, but kind of defeats the purpose of having a mutable desktop does if you can do that. So there you go. So if you have a system that if you'd like this out of the box or things like that, you don't have any need to change any config files that are in the system itself. I'll show you what I what I was talking about. Is I had to change this config file because I have this rogue keyboard here, mechanical keyboard. I notice I have it plugged in right now. It's because it's the only way I can use it. But it's this small. It is a wireless keyboard, but when you plug wireless in, it dims the lights a certain, like 2 minutes after you run it. You last key press, stuff like that. 2 minutes after that, if you haven't pressed the key, the lights on the keyboard will go dim. Obviously, energy saving function, so you don't waste your battery life. Should make sense. But for some reason, it also sends out a signal to the systems wherever you ever plugged into to shut down the system too. Yeah, so it does that. It's a little bug or something that they have in here. There's a workaround for it that I can use. And so you go here. I think it's in user. Here. Let's say user. Yeah, and then you're gonna share a thing. Oh, CD. Yeah. Remember survey 7. Let's see. Is local or shared over which? It has some nice aliases. A lot of them. Aliases you can do to do all sorts of extra things on the system. You can see the LL, usually the long version of things. So push that all, and I get that listing. Okay, so let's go to share and X11 on. And one org. And one up there is 40. And yeah, you go into it, but anyway, you can't change anything in it. Just pop up as read only. Oh yeah, I don't have that on here yet with Vim. So I'm not as familiar with Vim as I am with Nano, so that's another issue. I haven't figured out a way to install it. So yeah, you got this down here. And you enter one of these section input classes. It's got some class for basically it turns off the driver for, and it causes the code. I got it on my website, which I can show you real quick. And here's a sign. Oh yeah, maybe I'm blog post on subject. And right here. My Suse wrong file to mechanical keyboard keeps shutting down my anyway, this is the code you gotta put in there. But you can't put it in here because it's a system file in the system where you can't edit things at all. It's immutable, so it's not gonna mute. It's not gonna mute on us. So that's part of the problem there with that. So I can't turn off that, so I always have to have this keyboard always plugged into it, not just for signing up, but I can make it to where I can just set this so that it runs on its own with the wireless plugged into it. Can't use this wirelessly on this with this OS. It's immutable. I can't change that function in there. Might be a way to do it somehow, but I don't know. It's my blog, Rick's Linux Tips. I don't have a whole lot on here, but I have some stuff. August, February. See, I done most of it's like back in 2020 when I had a lot of time on my hands. I have a lot of time on my hands now, but yeah, so 2021's got one entry in it for the whole year. So I kind of did basically what I started this for was basically so I have a place to put stuff like this I need to know and I can get a hold of it. It helps other people, great, but it's mainly for myself, but pretty much. That's why I haven't really broadcasted, tried to make it a popular thing or anything. People, if they're looking for searches on this keyboard, will find this hopefully, and they go, "Oh, that's a solution." So, but it only works on X11. You have a Wayland thing. I'm not sure how it works. I haven't tried it yet on anything. So, yeah, it's supposed to work on Wayland to do this here. Which you go here. And then you have this, you have to create this file under this here, but you can't do that in this Immutable Customs. It's in the etc directory, which means it's a part of the root file system. Can't change that. Anyway, if you could, you add this there. You add this file name, put some information in it. Bada bing, bada boom. It should work, theoretically. Hope, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, that's what you got. So also says you need to run the HWDB update, hardware database update apparently. Systemd hardware database update. So that's that. So that's if you got to do things like that, you need to set up your hardware so you can work it on in this here, if I can. Yay. So you got that. I think that's pretty much all I had to show you on this macOS system though. It's a pretty basic system. If you like basic systems that are immutable, you can't change anything on the root system. Like you're gonna give this to your grandma or something, maybe she can use it. She can use a web browser to go out and look at stuff, those kind of things. But yeah, anything you install, you have to install in a container. And usually you want to do it on flat packs. if at all possible. That's gonna be the easiest way for you to install software. And Software Center is probably the easiest way for you to install that. So there you go. I don't know why now. The first time I installed this on the system, I don't know why it changed, but the Flatpaks or FlatHub was initiated out of the box. I think I don't remember changing it. I remember initiating it, but yeah. So that's macOS. Like I say, I don't think I have a use case for it, but I could see some use cases for it, possibly for other people. And mutable desktops. It's an interesting concept. Has its advantages for sure, and updates, and also system security if you have a need for that. But I don't have much of a need for system security mostly. So far, I have been on Linux for, what is it now, about 10, 15, 10, 12, 11 to 12 years. And I've never had any need for system security other than what it's got on Linux, because it's a pretty secure system overall. I mean, every operating system has its holes and its problems and its faults, and Linux, no exception to that. It's had some security holes occasionally that had to be plugged and fixed, but by and large, it just operates. I don't even have a. I mean, most you can install the what do you call it? The firm, the not firmware, uh, firewall. That's what it's called, firewall. And you can install a firewall application on it, and you can use that way. You enable it. I think I have enabled on my systems for the most part. At least I tried to, and yeah, I haven't had any problem with it. Secure, pretty secure actually system because of the way the password works. People can get around it. I'm sure hackers know how to get around this kind of thing, but I don't want to hack a guy who has a little network here that doesn't have any computers, no data to really police over unless you want to get some videos or things like that, you know. Hi Jasper, how you doing? I'm doing great today. So yeah, we're almost done here, I think. Not sure when you popped in, but good to see you too. And I guess two people showed up today, so maybe I'll keep going on this. Next week I'm planning on doing Storm D, which is a Debian version of Storm OS, which is based on Arch usually, but this is based on Debian. I don't know if it's got any testing in it or what, but we'll find out. See what kind of be interesting to see how he's fixed it up. Ben. So yeah, I'm sure he'll probably be here next week for that. I'm sure, pretty sure, unless he can't make it for some reason. But 11 o'clock's not the best time, but it's the only time I got. So for live shows anyway. So Steve apparently doesn't know. I don't know if he hasn't responded to what his show plans are for tomorrow morning. Steve has a channel called Steve's Very Own, which he has a Sunday morning show on it. I'm usually there first hour of it or so, depending on when he starts, because I gotta leave about 8 o'clock Mountain Time to go to church and stuff like that. So, so anyway, a lot of people like to go to his show too, more so than mine so far. But that's probably just availability. A lot of people probably available on Sunday mornings, and the Saturday mornings, not so much apparently. So we'll keep going, see how this goes for the next 2 or 3 weeks, month or so, maybe the end of the year. Yeah, or I may end up just going back to uploading videos again. editing, uploading. At least you get shorter thing. You don't have all this downtime with them installing stuff, thing like that. Cut all those out, edit those out when you upload a video. Not so much when you do it live. You can have the effect if you save them, record as well as stream, but I haven't tried that yet because I mean I could put it on my live and I can change and upload videos, and after I edit it down for dead content like what you're getting here, I'm talking about stuff that would be pointless to talk about otherwise. So Steve and Jasper showed up today, and either two of you are listening to me now. Just say another quick "I'm here," whatever, that kind of thing. And Steve, if you are here and want to give more information about what you're going to do tomorrow, if you're going to do anything like that, let me know real quick, and I'll read it over the air, over the YouTube air or somewhere, where you call it. Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of these videos I have, these kind of videos, I'm surprised at how many people actually watch them. I don't know, they probably don't watch the whole thing, I'm sure, but it seems like a lot of people will watch them for a while at least, or see the beginning of it, or zip around in or whatever, get to the juicy parts. So yeah. Well, at least it's more successful installing SilverBlue was. SilverBlue was a bomb because I had some other issues unrelated to SilverBlue, Fedora SilverBlue. But yeah. So anyway, that's about it for today, I guess. So if you have anything else you want to say, either of you or more people, I have a feeling both of you said hello and kicked off. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day, rest of Saturday, and may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.